So nearly 20,000 points in about 10 minutes. This is how I made it happen with 0 energy spent and 0 soul stones pulled, which I will be doing a little bit later on. But I want to share with you guys why I think this event is actually pretty good. Now, if that gets you a little bit triggered because you came in expecting this to be a shard pull event, hold on just a moment. I want to explain why I think it's so actually pretty good, and you guys can decide for yourself. Leave your comments down below and what you think about it. So how I did this is something I prepared for a long time, because a few years ago, I had a very, very horrible situation where I tried for a champion named Sir Nick. I came up short and got Jingle Hunter himself, which set me out on the journey, basically, you could call it, to never get screwed over in these champion training tournaments or champion training events again. If I want to go for it, I'm going to be able to go for it. So in this event, 109,000 was first place, 93,000 was me. From 10,000 on, we were getting nothing. All these other 100 plus people were also getting nothing, essentially. So you have 100 to 200 players. Only one of them's getting something. And then after 10,000 points, you're getting absolutely nothing. This event, however, every player has the ability, if they're prepared, to actually get the legendary champion here. Every player can also get rewards instead of this champion. So after your 10,000 champion training points, you're not left getting absolutely nothing. You will have the ability to go through and get random stuff throughout. You can pick up some Chaos Ore, pick up some Dust, you can pick up a Primal Shard, a Void Shard. There's all kinds of different things in this event that you can pick up besides just going for the legendary champion. Now, when you compare these points to those champion training points, it makes a lot more sense. But at first look, when you hear that getting Altarion, or whatever his name is going to cost you 106,000 points, it sounds terrible. But take a look at this real quick. So looking at previous champion training events, for a 6-star, giving them 1 level, is going to give you 8 points. Now, a 6-star giving 1 level is going to give you 18 points. That's about 2.25 times higher. So if you take the 106,000 points needed to get Altarion and divide it by 2, you're going to be getting, well, this 47,400 number there. We'll say 106,500 divided by 2, divided by 2.25. 106,500 divided by 2.25, you're going to be getting, let's just say, 47,500 points. Now, if you're a player who could look at the champion training tournaments, the typical champion training tournaments, and say, yes, I can get 47,500 points, no problem. Well, getting the 106,000 points in this event, while it does seem higher, it sounds higher, it's not actually much higher, if at all. So if you're a player who could do that, well, you're a player who can do this. However, with this, it's actually guaranteed. You will be getting this legendary champion right here. That's one thing worth considering. So how did I actually go about getting all these points within about 10 minutes? Well, I used the brew method, which I highly recommend if you're a player who doesn't spend your brews all the time, which most players don't. You probably have a pretty big stockpile. Unfortunately, I don't have a very big stockpile, but even with the little stockpile that I had, was plenty to actually get quite a bit of points from this event very, very quick. So what you do is you take your 2-star champions. If you're leveling through the campaign, you do level 7. But if you're using the brew method over on the right-hand side, you guys can take a screenshot of this, of course. But for rank 2s, give them 1 brew. Rank 3s, give them 1 brew to level 10 as well. Rank 4s, give them 3 brews to level 18. Rank 5s, you give them 6 brews plus 1 1-star champion to get them to level 25. And you can see in this video, it's about 10 minutes, a little bit longer because I actually ran out of silver. Unfortunately, I wasn't prepared for that. But you can see in this video, all I'm doing is just dropping some brews into these champions, collecting my 119 points very quick, and then just going on to the next champion. Boom, 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 going right down the list, no problem. So how I've gotten to this point is there's eventually a time in the game where you don't have to be getting a new 6-star every single week. Like, you have a very good roster of champions, and instead of taking a champion to 5-star and then giving them to working a champion to 6 stars, instead, you can take that 5-star champion, throw them into your reserve vault, into your vault, whatever it is, and then save them for these events in the future. And how you can look at it is basically canisters of energy. So every 5-star champion you have is like a treasure chest that you can drop some brews into and collect points for these champion training events, whether it's this one, a typical champion training, whatever it may be. These are literally just treasure chests of points. So you can see here, I'm just going through collecting all the, the gold from my treasure chests, essentially, or the dragon coins, you could call it, and getting some points to actually work towards this monster path. So whenever you're working on champions, just typical champion training events, if you don't have somebody you need to make 6-star, start working on, hey, maybe once a week, I'm going to try to get 1 or 2 5-star champions just sent in savings. Now, over here, you can see I have quite a few rows of 5-star champions. There's going to come a time where you run out of 5-star champions and you got to start working on saving 6-star champions. I have quite a bit of 6-star champions that, once again, are just like treasure chests waiting for points to be collected from them. So here we go. We have Korgar, or isn't it Korgar? We have this guy right here. So he's a 6-star champion. Let's go ahead, jump in here. We'll drop in, we'll do like 7 brews into him or something. So 7 brews, boom. It's going to give me 450 points. 450 points for a champion just sitting in my vault, not doing anything. I don't need him at level, or at 6-star right now. I didn't need him at 6 or level 26 right now either. But those champions are sitting there for events like these. And I recommend you guys start preparing your champions as well, whether it's for those champion training tournaments where you have to go against another player, you can burst really quickly and set a huge gap and discourage other players from actually competing, or in these events, you can lay out the numbers very meticulously. You can know exactly how many brews you have to use and go ahead and finish out this event without having any speculation whatsoever or any worry, hey, I might have to start spending this much energy. This is going to be my resource cost. This is how difficult it's going to be. So as far as the actual brews that I used, this was the breakdown that I was expecting to do whenever I first started this, which was about 360 brews being used. But in this video, the 10 minutes, about 10 minutes, it was like 11 minutes. So that is what it is, but I did have to buy some silver. You can see right here, had to go sell some, not buy some silver, I had to go sell some accessories, pick up some silver because like I said, I was not prepared, unfortunately. But after doing all this stuff, what I ended up spending was 27 blue potions, 93 red brews, potions, brews, same, not really the same thing, but brews, what I'm talking about when I say potions, just assume I'm meaning brews, okay? So 27 blue brews, 0 green, which is not great. I need to fix those ratios. 93 red brews, and then 147 purple brews. Now, when you're preparing your champions in the future, this is something you need to be very, very mindful about. You can see up here, there's a very uneven distribution, specifically in the red brews. What happens is a lot of players farm Chapter 12, Stage 3 a lot. And guess who you get from Chapter 12, Stage 3? You get Incubus. Incubus. He has to be in here, right? Incubus. There's no, well, either way, from Chapter 12, Stage 3, you get a bunch of Incubus. Incubus is a Force Affinity champion. So if you're somebody who likes the aesthetic look of having a bunch of Incubuses filling your vault, well, you're going to hate that same aesthetic look when your red potions, your red brews, are at 0, because that's the only ones you have to be efficient to actually level your champions. So what I've started doing is I have so many void brews. Anytime I pull a void champion, I take them to 40, I take them to 50, I work them up, not 50, I take them to 5-star whenever, eventually, when I'm working on these events, so then I can start getting void champions up higher with brews because I have a lot of void brews. If you find yourself having more brews than another, start spreading out your affinity. So you should see a decent affinity spread in my reserve vault. And I'm not going through here and like counting everything, which I could be, and that would definitely help. But I'm keeping a loose track of, hey, I have this much spirit, I have this many void, I have some spirit, some force. Maybe I need to add in some more magic, so on and so forth. So just to have a pretty good spread across the board. And if you notice yourself having a lot of void, start leveling up some more void champions, getting them to 40, level 1. All these champions in this video were all 4-star level 1. You can see here, so it wasn't even the most efficient. Of course, if you're not prepared for these kinds of events, you're gonna have to come in, start at 1-star, start working your champions up, but it is something for you to watch out for and start preparing for in the future, especially if this is something that becomes somewhat regular. If they have these champion training events where you're having the hero's path, the training throughout, this is going to be so extremely valuable. And the best time to prepare for it is now. So as you're leveling your champions, whether it's in your sparring pit, all kinds of different things, start saving some 4-star level 1 champions, some 5-star level 1 champions. Any champion, ideally 4 and 5 stars that you can save, is just a treasure chest of points in the future that you can just pull from when you're ready, and you're going to be good to go. You can go ahead and finish it out, pick up all these resources. Like right now, I could probably come in here and just finish out this event with my brews alone. I'm not going to do that because that would put me in a bad situation for future events. But guys, my son just woke up upstairs. He's about to be down here in just a moment, I'm sure. I hear some stomping, so I'm going to make sure he knows that I'm down here. But that's all I want to share with you guys. So I hope that helps you out. Thank you all very much for watching. Hopefully that makes sense and it doesn't get you all too upset. I know this may be a little bit controversial because a lot of people were like, hey, this event is terrible. And at first, I also thought it was pretty bad. However, now looking at it a little bit more, I know I can use some soul stones. I can use some rank up champions. Overall, I think it's actually a pretty solid event. So guys, hope you have a great rest of your day. Love and appreciate all of you, and I'll catch you in the next video.